How do I put a 45-minute video online, a lecture online? We recommend not doing a 45-minute video. Recommend do about 10 to 15 minutes. It's easier to download, easier to watch. Students can break it up. Attention spans don't necessarily run that long. So 10 to 15 minutes is what I would recommend. You can use tools that are built in into the Windows and Mac PCs to go ahead and create an audio file or video file if you want. And you can go ahead and save that file and upload to YouTube, and YouTube will give you a link, and you post that link on Blackboard. For more information on how to do that, you can use the Blackboard or check the Blackboard training course, and details are available there for you to how to go about that process. What would you say are the most important things teaching online right now? So, what's the most important things? And that's a great question. So, the key right now, I would say, is communication. Having an effective method of communication. That would be either communicating with students via Blackboard, um, communicating with students via email. If they're going to do discussion boards, having them communicate with you via discussion boards. But you want to be in communication with them, and at least twice a week. You want to have some way of interacting with your students and making them, and it doesn't have to be synchronous. I'm talking about asynchronous is fine too, but some way to say, hey, I know you're there, and I'm just want to make sure you're on, task, or if you have questions, let me know. Even if you don't hear from anybody, you want to go ahead and do that. So that's communication is the key. Another thing I would recommend doing is making sure you build create assignments that incorporate communication too with other students. So in some way, and it doesn't have to be very complicated, but it can be something as simple as a discussion board. And you're going to find discussion boards are really, really essential during a time like this. It really creates that community, and it reduces that sense of isolation when you do the discussion boards. Then third, I would say to make sure that you are organized, and don't try anything new. And I know that might sound somewhat counterintuitive, but what I mean don't try anything new. I mean don't necessarily, if you haven't done wikis before, this is probably not the time to try to do wikis. If you haven't done blogs before, not the time to try to do the blogs. But you do want to have things that are required. So you want to have a grade book. You want to have announcements, syllabus, and some assignments that our students can submit. You want to have those things, but maybe some of the other things you can try that at another date. But right now, you want to do things that are not going to create an additional stress for yourself, and as well as create anxiety for students that if you run into problems and things aren't working properly, you have a smooth transition to this online medium. Should I do synchronous meetings for my class? Uh, I would recommend not doing or doing very few synchronous class meetings. Instead, you want to use asynchronous methods like discussions. Those are probably your best option. Having discussions, synchronous meetings. Students may have issues with technology, internet speeds, and maybe scheduling issues may also occur, during this transition, during this time. So we would highly recommend if you're going to do synchronous that you would do them very infrequently, and focus more on asynchronous methods that allow students to be able to watch if you're going to do, or you can create videos, record yourself doing a video and upload that video. Um, um, but you don't want to focus so much on actually having your regular class meetings every Thursday, for instance, on live. You want to focus more on the asynchronous methods. How do I keep students engaged on a weekly basis? Discussion boards are really the key for this. Discussion boards allow students to have a community and interact with others individuals besides you in the course. They also allow to remove that sense of isolation or reduce the sense of isolation. So I would highly recommend using discussion boards as a method to communicate with your students on a regular basis. Also, you can use other methods like email if you want, if that's a method that you have selected. Um, But that's discussion board is really the best way to keep them engaged on a weekly basis. So you want to post a topic, have them discuss that topic, then they can respond to other individuals' responses, and then it can kind of keeps the student engaged and letting them know that they're not alone. This is it's not something they're doing by themselves. Made a PowerPoint presentation for their final project for this course. So what I would say, if you're going to have them do a PowerPoint, or they have to submit a PowerPoint or do a PowerPoint, what I would do is have them record themselves, maybe doing that PowerPoint. They can use their phones. PowerPoint has a built-in feature for recording audio, so you could do it that way also. What's called narration, so they can narrate their PowerPoint. So you have several options on doing that. Also, maybe you don't have to do a PowerPoint. Maybe you can look at other methods. Maybe having students create a web page or creating a blog or something like that that allows them to also meet the requirements for the assessment in a different way. So PowerPoint is just maybe the tool. So you may want to select another method than just doing a PowerPoint to assess that. So, the key is understanding what the skill sets of the students are, and what you feel they can accomplish within a given time. You don't have a whole lot of time, so you don't necessarily want to require something that's going to require a lot of planning and educating and showing them how to use a tool, and to the point that you forget the assessment becomes somewhat not deflated, but misguided. So think about how you want to do that. But if you want to do the PowerPoint, the easiest tool easiest method is having yourself record the students, having the students record themselves doing the PowerPoint presentation. I don't have a. Next question is I don't have a webcam. What can I do? Webcam. First of all, I would say webcam is not necessary to do any of the things you need to do online. It is nice, but it's not a requirement. If you do need a webcam, you can get a pretty decent webcam for under $25-$30. You can also use your camera if you want to record something. You can record yourself doing a video and upload a video, something like that. But doing the webcam is not a requirement. Many courses are built with you never seeing the instructor, but constant communication and engagement is always there. But the visual isn't necessary. It's nice, but it's not a requirement.